Hey friends, welcome back to the channel with another issues-focused video. I actually said in the last video that there would be no video this week, but hey, here we are, doing more. I have a few friends who are feeling stressed out and anxious recently and psyched to go. Just published this video today, so I figured, hey, let's do this. Here today we have 6 habits to reduce stress and anxiety. As always, I'll be giving you my own personal take on this and see how many of these strategies I use and how they've worked for me. And the only thing that gives me anxiety and stress nowadays is just living with my parents and not having my own space. It honestly wouldn't be that bad if I had my own room, but like that's the situation these days. That's all I can, there's nothing I can do about it at the moment. So maybe this video will give me some habits that I can adopt to help combat that stress. Anyway guys, leave a like, it really helps with the channel, and let's get started.
Hey Psych2Goers, welcome back to our channel. Your ongoing support helps us further in our goal to spread awareness about mental health and psychology. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Now, to the video. At times, we can feel stress and anxiety reach new
Wear a bow
levels.
tie.
You may have felt so overwhelmingly stressed that you
Kinda.
wouldn't turn in assignments on time. Or you may have felt an abrupt feeling of anxiety wash over you as you walked over to a class podium for a presentation. Or
Class podium.
perhaps your stress and anxiety seem constant and unrelenting. It may be difficult to do seemingly simple tasks at all because you're too overwhelmed by your anxious thoughts and stressful to-do list.
I think the only time where I felt like a constant anxiety, constant dread was after a breakup when it didn't end well. So yeah, I was constantly, sometimes there would be calls where my ex-partner would yell at me, and so I was dreading whenever that would happen, and that would just last throughout the day. Thankfully, much better now, we're still friends. Anyway, let's continue.
Well, to help relieve you, here are some daily habits that can reduce
Yay!
your stress and anxiety.
It's cute.
Number 1, washing dishes.
Washing dishes?
Washing dishes? Yeah, you heard that right. According to researchers at Florida State University, washing dishes can have a positive effect on your well-being.
Is it washing dishes specifically or other chores?
Relieve stress. Researchers conducted a study with the help of 51 students as subjects. They found that those who mindfully washed dishes reported a decrease in nervousness by 27% and an increase in mental inspiration by 25%. The control group, on the other hand, did not experience any of the positive effects of mindful dishwashing.
So the control group did wash the dishes but didn't do it mindfully is what they're saying? I'm not entirely sure.
So how can you practice mindful dishwashing? You simply have to be aware of your senses while washing the tomato sauce off your lasagna plate. Focus on the smell, although it might not be great. Try focusing on the smell of the soap. Also, focus on the warm water and the feel of the glasses and plates in your hands. Grounding yourself in reality by focusing on your surroundings can help you relieve stress. Number 2.
Okay, so it's interesting. I think washing dishes is just a specific example. I would say find what works for you. Washing dishes, I don't know. I don't know that it reduces stress for me. Now, are there chores that help me reduce anxiety? I don't know about chores specifically, but I guess doing work for my YouTube channel sometimes helps. Sometimes it's just doing thumbnails or filling out description boxes or whatever. Sometimes just thinking about that, I get into a sort of zone. Even though I'm not like enjoying the work, it's still like it takes my mind off of everything else. And yeah, that's kind of nice. I actually haven't washed dishes. I don't wash many dishes nowadays. I used to wash everybody's dishes at home, but now I just wash my own. But I don't know that it helps. Maybe I'll try to be more mindful about it in the future though, since they did a study and it helps apparently.
Cuddling, hugging, and holding hands.
I do not have access to this.
A cozy cuddle or warm hug. Well, that loving feeling you get when you hug, kiss, or hold hands with someone is likely due to the increased flow of endorphins humans often get from a loving hug. According to several studies, the pleasing chemical endorphins increase from cuddles and hugs, while the release of the stress chemical cortisol slows from hugs. So next time you have a chance to hug someone you love, go ahead. You'll only feel happier, and they will too. If you don't have anyone to cuddle with right now, a plushie would work too.
Yeah, I mean, my love language, for those of you who are familiar with that, there are several love languages. Mine is physical touch. That's the highest out of all of them, and The lack of physical contact I've had over the last year or so, the year and a couple months, um, been pretty hard, been pretty difficult to deal with. And I mean, it's not like I've been in a relationship most of my life. I've been single the vast majority of my life. So it's not something that I got to use normally anyway, even outside of the pandemic. But yeah, that would be something that would definitely help me out a lot. So something I would like to use, a habit that I would like to form, that I don't currently employ all that often.
Number 3, make good posture a habit.
Yes.
I bet you're slouching right now, aren't you?
I wasn't that
No?
much. I
Then
was
you've
just
made me proud, Psych2Goer. You've made me proud. Slouching? Well, don't worry. I'll teach you the benefits of great posture, my little slouchy grasshopper.
slouchy.
We are all guilty of slouching at times,
Yeah.
but there are some positive effects on maintaining correct posture. According to a study in the Journal of Behavior Therapy and Experimental Psychiatry, upright posture can have a positive effect and reduce fatigue. The preliminary study's conclusions suggested that adopting an upright posture may increase positive effect, reduce fatigue, and decrease self-focus in people with mild to moderate depression. So maybe you're feeling a little bit tired or inattentive. Try maintaining good posture for 3 minutes and see how you feel after. Still feel tired? Maybe take a nap next. Number 4.
Okay. So yeah, posture is very big. One thing I do have to thank my father for is when I was a kid and I would slouch a little bit, he would like tickle me or poke me in the back so that I would sit up straight. And over time, that became a habit of mine. So one thing I'm thankful for, Danny, if you're watching this video, not Danny the editor, Danny my other friend, if you're watching this, sit up straight. All right. Number 4.
View stress as a challenge. When we are stressed or anxious, we
I don't
often
think this
feel
one's for me.
discouraged and, well, feel even more stressed or anxious due to these feelings in the first place. Think about it. If you continue to ruminate on a worrisome thought, your anxiety and stress will only grow. Instead, try viewing stress as a challenge. Psychologist Kenny McGonigal recommends in her book, The Upside of Stress, to reframe any stressful event or anxious circumstance as a challenge. Preliminary research shows that those who adopt this mindset exhibit fewer stressful events and suffer less from negative health effects. Use this response to stress as an opportunity to grow as a person. View how you can react differently and what that will do to you and the situation. How will you feel in the long run if you react this way? What if you view your stress as a long-lost friend who needs a break or some talking to in order to calm down? Well, if you talk to them, you may just hit it off, and then you may not view stress as an enemy at all,
Talk
but
to
as
your
a friend
stress.
who simply needs to be reasoned with.
That's actually interesting. Visualizing your emotions as parts of you that need dealing with like that. Maybe it could be for me a little bit, but I don't know. I don't think viewing things as challenges for me helps me deal with them in terms of anxiety. Like sometimes I'll put challenges in front of myself for video games or anything else like that, but I don't know. I'll give it a shot, I guess. But it doesn't sound like. Of course, all of these, you have to take it with. Like it doesn't. Not all of these habits are going to work for everybody. You got to figure out what works for yourself. But I'll see. I'll see.
Number 5, meditate.
Meditation.
I'm sure you've heard before about the
I'm just going to
benefits of
meditate during
meditation.
this.
But if you know your
Okay.
day is bound to be busy and stressful, put aside 5 or 10 minutes each morning to ease into it with some mindful meditation. It will likely be difficult to jump into a full hour's worth of meditation, so take it in baby steps.
Be conscious of your
Start with
breathing.
5 minutes each morning. Once you've mastered that, add an additional 5 each week until you feel comfortable. Neuroscientist Gail DeBoard demonstrated through fMRI research that changes in brain activity in subjects who had learned to meditate were unchanged even when they were not meditating. DeBoard recorded brain activity and took scans of subjects' brains while they meditated and after, while they completed everyday tasks. The scans still showed the changes in the brain activation patterns, continuing to the end of the study. This was the first time this sort of change had been discovered in the part of the brain known as the amygdala. And number 6.
That's pretty cool. I appreciate the science and the research behind these videos. So that's pretty cool. I used to meditate a lot more. Not a lot more, but like I used to meditate and I haven't in a really long time, I should say. I had a class in college. We had to take one religion class and I just took Zen Buddhism, I believe. And one of our school projects was just to go to a place and meditate. So I went to like a Zen temple and like meditated, and that was interesting. Um, yeah, you're supposed to like empty out your mind and just let it drift where it will without like consciously doing it. And yeah, I should incorporate meditating a little bit. I don't know about meditating for that long though. She said 5 minutes, start with 5 minutes and go up 5 minutes per week until you feel comfortable. I think I'm going to feel pretty comfortable with just the 5 minutes, maybe even less, honestly. Um, but yeah. All right, last one.
Go to bed.
God damn it.
On time.
Oh,
Do you go to bed on time? What time are
heck
you
no.
watching this video?
It's 7 p.m. right now. It's
If
not
it's
that
past
bad.
your bedtime, go to bed after this tip. If it's not past your bedtime, I am once again proud. It is vital to our mental health that we get enough sleep. Sleep deprivation can impact our anxiety for the worse. According to research,
I'm
not getting
exhausted
enough
right now
rest
watching
can
this.
increase the brain's anticipatory reactions, intensifying your anxiety and stress levels. So check the clock. Is it past your bedtime? It's time you make going to bed on time a daily habit, or a nightly one. So, will you practice these habits? Which
Some of
will you
them.
try first? And which habits help you relieve stress and anxiety? Let us know in the comments. You're not alone in your anxiety and stress. Psych2Go and the many Psych2Goers are here to listen. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to click the like button and share this video with someone who might need it. Subscribe to Psych2Go and hit the notification bell icon for more content like this. As always, thanks for watching.
All right. Yeah, these six habits are all really interesting. I used to wash the dishes more often, like I said, but my dad has been doing them most of the time since he got fired, and he does nothing else all day except for read wuxia stories. So he does some stuff around more stuff around the house than he used to. Physical touch, the cuddling, hugging, holding hands, that would probably be one of the more useful things for me because I mentioned my love language. The primary love language I have is physical touch. Unfortunately, pandemic, and yeah, not haven't been in relationships most of my life, so someone hold me, guys. Good posture is something I definitely focus on, though I sometimes lose it when sitting too long, reacting to things, especially for movies. I should really set like some sort of silent alarm to remind me to stretch. But yeah, good posture definitely important. Viewing stress as a challenge, it's interesting. I'm not going to doubt the science, but I will say again that I'm not sure it's something that would be useful to me. I'm open to trying it though. And for those of you who doubt any of these, everything works differently for everybody. So make your own decisions. Meditation, gonna start trying to do that a little bit more. Going to bed on time is the big one. Ugh. And it's the biggest reason why I wish I had my own space, because I sleep right here, and my dad is on the computer right here. So the light from the computer is always on if I go to sleep earlier than him, and he has certain disgusting habits that, I mean, just set me on edge all the time. Yes, going to sleep early is difficult, and he snores so loud that it wakes up my mom. So ever since I was born, he sleeps in the same bed as me, upside down, so we're facing different ways. He lived in Connecticut most of the time while he was working before he was fired in September 2019. So the last 10 years before he was fired, before I guess I was mostly fine. He would come home like 2 days a week, and I wouldn't sleep well those nights, so it would be fine because I still got 5 days of good rest. But yeah, ever since he got fired, he's home all the time, and I haven't had a single good night of sleep since September 2019, outside of the 2 weeks when he and my mom went to Taiwan. I got to focus on other habits to make my stress and anxiety levels lower and in check, which I actually think they are given the circumstances. I do have some plans for how to actually move out. A basement studio, costs about $1,200 a month to rent, which I can afford. But in order to rent it, they do an income check, and the last place I checked out, $1,200 rent per month rent, they need $60,000 in annual income, which is just mind-boggling. I don't know how people can afford to live in places like that. I don't know where they're looking that doesn't have these income requirements. I guess it's worse now because of the pandemic, because they're worried that people will not stop paying rent. And so, yeah, really, really annoying. Anyway, I appreciate this video though. The fact that it quotes results from actual studies to show the efficacy of these anxiety reducing habits is really, really commendable. Do you guys use any of these? What other habits or strategies do you have to deal with stress and anxiety? Let me know in the comments below, and hopefully you can apply some of these habits in the video to your own life. I reserve the right to not do issues-focused videos every week, but next week, let's have the next cinema therapy video for gaslighting in Tangled. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it's already up on Patreon at the early reaction tier. Leave a like, really helps the channel, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time with more. Bye, friends.